Good morning, everyone. Welcome to my channel. My name is Lynn. I do a lot of yarn stuff. I do some sewing. I do other crafting. I do some gardening, and yeah. So I do a lot of different things, but mainly I focus on yarn. And lately I've been focusing on some sewing. But mainly my first love is yarn, and it will always be yarn. So today I have quite a few things to go over. Now I am about to freeze. It is roughly, I think, about 29 degrees outside. So, and I used one of a cup my son brought back from the Bahamas, and I didn't realize that my tea would be so weak. So I'm trying to let the second tea bag get to going really good and getting steeped in there because I'm freezing. Yes, I know South Carolina does not normally get super cold weather, and we will get it from time to time, but it's only, maybe 3 whole days out of the winter, maybe. Now, in the past couple of years, it's kind of fooled me, and it's gotten a little cool or a lot of cold, and then it'll warm back up. Like tomorrow, it won't be this way tomorrow. But a lot of times here in the South, for those of you who are not in the United States or you're in the northern part of the United States, usually it's about 50 to 60 degrees in the winter. There are times to where we will go from one extreme to the other. Just saying. And usually I roll with that and I'm okay with it. But cheesy Pete, when it's cold, it's cold. So I have a few things that I want to go over today. As you saw in the title, I have some good, the bad, and some ugly. Some of the ugly and the bad is my fault. Some of it's not. And some of it's a preference thing. So let me preface that with saying, if you do like fingerless gloves, you may have none of my issues. Okay? I don't really have need for gloves a whole lot, except today. Today, I would love to wrap my hands in some gloves and be happy. So, I'm going to have to do it around my cup a little bit. So, bear with me. If I'm not showing you something, if I'm just doing talking portion, I might be holding my cup. Now, with my peripheral neuropathy, my hands don't feel the cold and the heat as much as everyday Joe person does. So, for me to feel my hands being cold, it is... Even though I think the heat is set on 68, maybe. If my husband has any say about it, he would say it would be 70, 72, 75. But I think it's at 68. But it's really hard right now because our Christmas tree is sitting in front of the thermostat. And so I don't know if it's reading... I don't know if it's coming on like it should because, even though my husband said we need to leave enough room for the thermostat, it's a big tree. It is a very big tree. And it might be my last year having my live trees. I've never had an artificial tree, but I think it's time. Okay, so let's get into the goody stuff. All right, so on that review... or the me compiling different fingerless gloves that I wanted to check out, and I found I did an equal 5 number of knit and 5 crochet, and I said there was 2 knit that I wanted to try and two crochet. Well, the first one was by Handy Little Me, and it's based on the gloves or the wrist warmer, arm warmers that Claire in the Outlander was showing on the TV show. Well, the series. Oh yeah, that's much better with that second tea bag. Oh yeah. I'm gonna have to get me some more of this. I want to try different flavors now that I know that I can drink it and it warms me up without triggering my ulcer. If you heard my little slurping, I'm so sorry. Alright, so I only have one done. This is the knit version. And basically it is a 1x1 rib. And I did it in Karen 1 pound. I think it was heathered gray. So it's just a basic acrylic, you know, your everyday acrylic yarn. I do like it overall. There's a couple reasons why I didn't make its match so far. I may change my mind and I may make a match and donate them. I won't sell this, and I won't sell the other one that I made, only because there's a standard that I have. Now, my standard for donating is almost as high as my standard for selling. But if I'm not going to wear it and I'm not going to sell it, I might as well donate it to someone who can actually use it. And there is quite a few homeless in the area of Augusta that I work. Now, and the only reason I say this is because I see them in the mornings around my job, especially if it's raining. They try to find shelter. And this is not a very masculine glove, and mainly it is men that I see. But if it warmed their hands up, I don't really think they would care. I mean, it's not feminine either, right? So anyway, there's a couple things. There's a couple reasons why I may or may not redo this or do a second one. I probably will do a second one just so I can donate it, but there's a couple things I didn't like, and it might be me. So I'm used to knitting with cotton, worsted weight number 4 cotton, or fingering weight. Alright, wool. Especially if I am doing my socks. Because I do my socks on 9-inch circular needles. And I did this on a 9-inch circular needle. But a 9-inch circular needle with worsted weight yarn, for me, was hurting my hands. To where I could only work short bits on it before my hands just started hurting. So the discomfort alone may restrict me from ever making this pattern again. Unless I redo the numbers and do it in fingering weight. Now, I could do that. And I actually might wear a fingering weight. But as pretty as this is, it's just a little... The stitches are a little bulky for me. And that's a preference thing. That's a preference thing. So, if you do it in... Okay, this is Handy Little Me. And the actual name of it is Outlander Claire Fingerless Gloves. I will link that down below. I do also have it in my video that I compiled all these patterns in. Now, she does it flat. She knits it flat and then seams it up, right? And she leaves a hole for the thumb hole. Well, I didn't. I don't like to knit flat like that. But that might solve my hand strain. So I might try that on this glove. Because I can mimic the look. Now, I don't know how smooth the join I can camouflage it. Because I have no join, obviously, on this. Because it's knitted in the round. But I did knit back and forth for the thumb hole. Alright? In the pattern, it says when you're seaming it up, leave 2 inches. So, seam 5 inches. And then at 4 inches, when you have 4 inches left, leave 2 for the thumb hole, and then seam together 2 more. Well, you know, your girl has some big knuckles. and arthritis is unfortunately setting in, so I have to have plenty of room for my joint. So I just knitted flat for that section, and then I joined back in the round and then knit another almost 2 inches. But I put it on and I was like, whoa, I have a pretty big hand for a girl. So it was already getting to the point where I couldn't see my rings. And I said, you know what? It might be time to bind off. And there goes my second problem. This is a me thing. This is not a pattern thing. She doesn't tell you, she doesn't give you instructions on how to bind off. She just tells you to bind off in a one by one rib pattern. And I've deviated from the pattern already, so why would I bind it off in the way that she suggested? So I tried a tubular bind off. I think it's called an Italian tubular bind off. I would not recommend trying a new style or new method of doing something when you're so extremely tired, because mine does not look anything like hers. Mine looks like a hot mess. I don't know if you can see it, but it is a hot mess. I mean, here, let me take it off so you can kind of see. You see all the bumpity bumps and lumps and, yeah, no. Hers, and I'm not going to name her because her tutorial was excellent. She had a beautiful finished product. It's my fault. So I put these to the side. I put this one to the side. You know, I bound off. But next time, if I do the second one, I will do the 1 by 1 rib bind off. And that's just the same way as you normally bind off, but instead of knitting every stitch, you knit your knits and you purl your purls, and then you slip a stitch over to bind off. So I'll probably do that on my second one. Now, the other knit one that I want to do is the Pioneer gloves. That's by Kelly McClure. And that one, hold on. Was it? Yes. Because I almost did the Maisie or Maze by Tin Can Knits, but, and I will link all of these down below again, just in case you didn't see my other video. I want to do the Pioneer gloves because it had such an interesting short row thing here on the palm. But your girl's been working too much. We've established this. But I don't work again until Thursday. Today is Sunday. And then we have Wednesday is Christmas, and I go in for Thursday and Friday. Because I did tell my boss, I said, I need to maintain my work-life balance. I have a very hard time doing that when I'm in a job because I like to work. I do. I love to work. And I can't do that and be a healthy, mentally healthy person for my family, for my job, for y'all, for all the things that I want to do. So, and it helps that, you know, we will be getting out of Christmas. All right. So, I have, now this is the Granny Square, this is the crochet version. This is, let me pull it up, hold on. I have it right here on my computer. Okay, so this is Lullaby. This is by Lullaby Lodge. All right. And I used, the reason why the colors are so eclectic and so random is I used Big Twist Supernova in the Milky Way Galaxy that I did the hexagon cardigan. If you want to know about that, It is about an hour-long tutorial, I think. Yeah, I think it might be an hour long. I can't remember. But anyway, it's should be under my tutorials tab. If I can make note to remember to put it on there. But anyway, this little thing. Now, Lullaby Lodge does a regular granny square glove with the ribbing on the cuffs and the ribbing on the thumb holes and around the fingers. You know me. I'm going to take a pattern and I'm going to deviate from it because that's me. Because to me, no pattern fits what I want exactly. And I've been crocheting long enough. I was crocheting patterns before I read patterns. I was making things up and self-drafting. So I prefer a solid granny square to the typical granny stitch granny square. And so I did that. Well, then I did not do the seaming and everything like she did. Hers is a great pattern. If you like the granny stitch granny square, by all means, follow it to a T. If you don't, I mean, I like the way the solid granny square came out. The only problem is I think my tension was way too tight on this glove. But I do like the way overall how it turned out for something that I don't really like to wear. I do like, and I might think about this for those Outlander gloves, I do like that it has a little ribbing on my thumb because it hides my big knuckles. So if I were to wear these, which I won't, I do like that feature. If you have small, dainty, little cute hands, you don't have to worry about that. You would still need it for this to actually make it look right. But I would recommend this pattern. I would recommend the Outlander pattern too. Just go into it knowing that if you tried on a 9-inch circular, you might have some hand pain. Or if you don't have hand pain at all, then you should be good to go. The other I feel like I'm a boxer with I think that's the problem I have with the fingerless gloves. I feel like a boxer. Like somebody who's about ready to smack somebody in the head. Yeah, I'm goofy. Sorry. So, both of these patterns are good. They're very well written, which the granny square one is really not a pattern per se. It's just kind of assembly, how you assemble things. But I still like it. They did a good job. The other crochet one was the stained glass. It was by Crazy Cabbage, and that is a K for crazy and a K for cabbage. Again, the link is down below. And I do want to get started on that. But I think that's going to be way too dainty for me. Big hands. Oh, I don't know if y'all can see it. It's covered in fuzz from that yarn now. My son bought me this a few years ago, as he says, as a gag gift. I love it. But I love big baggy stuff, and because it's so comfy and cozy. But it says, "Oh, the weather outside is so frightful," or it's frightful. But this yarn is so delightful. He bought it as a joke, but I love it. And he bought me another one. Let's see. Okay. So it says, "The yarn is so delightful." And since we've no place to go, another row, another row, another row. Well, the bad thing about this one is I ripped a hole in it. It don't stop me from wearing it, but I can't wear it out in public now. He said he never expected me to wear it in public, but I like it. I'm a nerd. I'm weird. Yep. Just a little bit. But anyway. So, back to the gloves. I'm sorry. I got distracted because I wanted to show y'all the cute little shirt that I find so comfy. The stain, no, that was not stained. No, I told y'all wrong. I told y'all about the stained glass just now from Crazy Cabbage. I need more days off, which I'm having 4. Today's my first day of 4 days off, which includes Christmas Day that I won't be resting, but that's okay. I'll be doing other things, my home things, and that's still kind of restful to me. So it's not the stained glass mittens by Crazy Cabbage, which I do love those. And I may make, I don't know if I'll make her fingerless gloves, but on that she has a hat and a cowl pattern. I might make one of those because I like them. Not because I wear any of it. I don't wear any of it. I do like to make them though. But the other one, the one that I said that the other crochet one I do want to make it's the shell stitch. I said the shell stitch, but I gave you the wrong people. The shell stitch is actually made by this name that I cannot pronounce. I will spell it for you. It's CREJJTION. Yes. And it's fingerless gloves. It's beautiful. I love the shell stitch. But again, it's a very dainty pattern, and your girl's not got dainty hands. Now, even if you don't have dainty hands, you can probably pull this off with no problem. But I don't really do the fingerless gloves anyway, so I don't know. I couldn't really model them for pictures. Now, one of these patterns, I can't remember who did it. It's one of the knit patterns. They used mannequin hands. But I might get my niece. She has some little small dainty hands. I might make some and have her model them for me. I don't know. But see, all this kind of stuff goes on in my brain when I think of making things and selling them or gifting them or donating them. And because even if I don't put it on my website, I still like to take pictures for my records and, you know, to share with y'all if I don't have the actual physical make that I've done. Because I like to keep a visual representation for myself of what I've made. Right? Now, I do want to make them. I just have plans right now. Now, the next couple days, I'm definitely going to be a little busy. I'm mostly done with Christmas, which I'm kind of stressed out because my daughter-in-law tells me that FedEx is on strike or something. I've not heard anything about it, but I've noticed some FedEx packages are coming and some FedEx packages aren't. Like, I've had one of my Christmas presents that I bought for someone, one of my sons. It's been in Augusta. I could literally drive over to Augusta and grab my package, but it's been over there for 4 days. And every time I look at the updated thing on FedEx, it says the day that I'm looking at it, that day at timestamp 12:05 p.m. or 12:04 p.m. And I'm like, if you've watched me for a minute, you know I have issues with FedEx anyway. But at work, FedEx is coming every day to pick up our FedEx Express and FedEx, the regular packages, you know, regular home packages. And I wonder if those people are getting their stuff. If they were on strike, like I told her, when a union goes on strike, the whole union has to go out on strike. I think it's the part of being in a union. I don't know. I've never been in a union. This is just me talking off the top of my head about what I think I know. That I don't. That I'm just guessing on. This is actually getting very cool now. So I need to hurry up and finish it up. But definitely, if I use this big honking cup again, I'm definitely going to have to use 2 bags. And I definitely don't want to drink cold tea like this. So sorry about that. But I am using one of my little flannel reusable paper towels that I made. I love these things. And surprisingly, my family is using them without any argument. So I think what I'm going to do is, y'all know I have the sewing machine waiting for Christmas Day. I'm not going to open it until Christmas Day. It is sitting under the tree. I didn't wrap it because my whole family knows that my husband bought it for me. But I'm just going to wait till Christmas Day. That way I can get this whole situation set up. Because when I put my new sewing machine up and I get all the bells and whistles and I figure out how to work everything on it, I don't want it to move. My little old Faithful, she's portable. And, you know, that's fine and dandy for me to get everything out and ready with her and then put it up when I'm done. But I don't want to do this with the new one. So I might make my daughter-in-law and my son some flannel reusable paper towels for their house. Because my son hates to buy paper towels. I don't know why. Actually, him and her, they just hate to buy them. So I think that would be perfect for them. And it won't be like a Christmas present. It'll just be, here, I love you. I made something for you. But okay, so that's all the yarn almost all the yarn content. So for my market bags and hats that I have, and I think that's probably all I will put these on. I ordered from Birch and Cider some, I'll take it out of the package, some tags with my logo on them. And I was really, really nervous because my son and I told my son what I wanted when he made my logo. And this is what he came up with. You see it at the beginning of every of my videos. But Cassandra was able, I'm trying to make sure my face gets out so it focuses on that. She was able to do it. Now this is like a silvery gray with the black ink. And it comes with these little screw pegs that has a, it's not a rivet, but it is kind of. I don't know. But you can put that on them. And then I loved those so much, I ordered a second. I only ordered 10 at a time because I don't want to order a lot until A, my website starts taking off, and B, I know exactly what the colors look like. So I may end up doing like a 10-pack of all the colors to see what I like. Now this one I thought was going to be a lot more brown because she said the description says light brown. And that to me is more of a taupe than a brown. But I know that might be just a very light brown to most people. And see, like on the silver ones, it has a little bit more silver tone to the screw things. And I'm describing these wrong. They're like screw rivets, but, and these are brass that make the brassy brown that kind of fits a little bit more. Now she has a darker brown, and that's going to be my next order. But I love her. It's Birch and Cider. She's very reasonable and she does a great job. So I'm excited. I haven't started using them yet because, like I said, I wanted to get a feel for what they are and what they look like. I already got a feel for what they are. I love them. Now it's just a matter of trying out different different colors. Okay, so that was it for the yarn stuff. Y'all know I made those the Reese cups. So at work I found, now my concern, I bought this at Walmart. I showed y'all this once before. Well, my concern was doing the Reese cups, the little peanut butter cups in here. I was concerned for two things, because I wanted to gift them. And my husband said, but if you do them in this, it's not going to have the classic Ridgy cup. So at work, we have these little mini baking cups, right? For Christmas. And I was like, this is perfect. I hope it's the right size. So I took a gamble, and I bought a pack. And alright, well, I'm not going to be able to use that one right now, since I've already put my hands all in it. But watch. Oops. Look. It fits perfect. So I can do my peanut butter cups in this, and then put them in that tin that I was telling y'all that I bought from work, so that I can have gifts to hand out to family with their regular presents. I thought this was so awesome. And it came out, the strategy came out a lot better than I expected. So, thankfully there's 100 little mini cups here. And if I decide to keep doing this, I can probably find these on Amazon for different, either just different colors, because I won't need Christmas when it's not Christmas. Alright. So when me and my daughter-in-law went to take her to the doctor the other day, it's been about, I want to say at least a week or so ago, my grandson didn't want to go. He wanted to stay with his daddy. Well, that wasn't possible on that day. So I don't know who promised that baby a treat. I don't know if it was daddy or mommy, but one of them promised him a treat. So when me and my daughter-in-law, after we finished up at the doctor, she said, okay, she told me his daddy promised him, and his daddy told me that mommy promised him. So you know how that goes. So it was a cake pop from Starbucks. I'm not a big fan of giving kids a lot of sweets. Never have been. And it's so weird. We've already talked about on here before that as the grandparent, I'm supposed to be able to spoil the baby and, you know, do all that fun stuff. And yeah, well, I'm not going to jack my grandson up on sugar and junk. I don't mind him having treats every now and again, but, and the cake pop, it was not huge. It's literally a little cake pop. It wasn't some massive gobstopper kind of cake pop. And if you know a gobstopper, you know what I mean. So, that thing was $4. It's like $3.89. I said, no. We're not doing that anymore. So, I had a customer come through. I was on the cash register the other day, and I had a customer come through, and she had these cake molds, these cake pop molds. So I bought one. She's a baker, and she does these quite often. And she's told me the way Starbucks or Starbucks does it is they pre-make, and she does it this way too, pre-make the cake. Alright? So you make a regular cake, you make the cake in the cake pan like you normally would, and then you crumble it up, and you use a little bit of icing to bond it to where you can put it in these molds and put them in the fridge and let them harden. Then you put the little sticks in here, and then you melt your chocolate, And I got me some chocolate. I got some candy wafers, the meltable kind. This is vanilla and this is chocolate. And she said these were really, really great. They do really, really well for dipping things. So I thought, how perfect would that be? So I bought it. And I told my grandson what I was going to do for him. And you would have thought I hung the moon for that baby. He said, my grandma's going to make me cake pops. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I love that little boy. I do. He's a mess. So, I think you can. This thing says about batter. It says, prepare your cake pop batter according to your recipe. Lightly grease the inside of your mold. Place the bottom part of the mold on the baking sheet. Fill each cavity about 1 tablespoon of batter, and then place the top part of the mold over the bottom part and press firmly to seal it. And then bake your cake pops until a toothpick inserted in the center, because they got the little holes here, comes out clean. Let the cake pops cool slightly in the mold before removing them. So, I might try it both ways. I already made the cake last night to do the Starbucks way. And then once I get them molded and I put them in the fridge and let them harden a little bit, I can dip them in the chocolate. Then I'm going to try it with the batter. Because, you know, I don't do things the way people expect, right? So I want to give this a shot. But I figured I would rather make him some of these and make these for the family and all. But see, I can also do this with those gifts because they might fit in that cup. And I could put like 2 or 3 in a tin as long as I didn't, I wouldn't be able to do, my tins are only about that tall. And I think these cake pop sticks are like, I could just do cake balls instead of cake pops. Like donut holes. Yeah, I could do something like that. I don't know. We'll see. I can still use the same mold. I just won't put the cake pop stick in it if I want to gift it in the tins. Because I don't know how much candy I'm going to be able to make. Because I still have to go shopping. The gifts are done, mostly, because I might have to go grab a couple more things since FedEx has my packages and won't deliver them. But I also have to get the stuff for Christmas dinner. You know, I have to get my ham. I'm so ready for my ham. I really am. Anyway, so I have to go shopping anyway, so I might get another cake mix. And I'm using box cake mix right now. I want to make my husband some red velvet cake pops with a recipe that I've always used that his mama gave me. It was her red velvet recipe. And I have a German chocolate, like a double chocolate recipe that I love to use. So I could buy the other things for the candies that I want to make. There was one that was a peanut butter ball, but if I'm doing peanut butter cups, I don't really need to do that recipe. And I found all these on YouTube. Imagine that. And they had some little coconut things, and they had some fudge things. I really want to try the fudge. But I only want to do it if I can gift 99% of it. Because my husband's not a huge sweet eater. I'm not a big sweet eater. So it's it's beneficial. Now my kids and my daughter-in-law, yeah, they like candies on occasion, but they don't wolf it down. So I would definitely need to disperse it around family and loved ones. But they have like a peppermint fudge, and then there was a walnut maple fudge, I think. It all sounds really, really good, and I really want to make them. So that's what I'm going to get started on today. I told my daughter-in-law, because she wants to make a mock-up of Snickers. She's like, well, Miss Lynn, since you're, wanting to do all this candy stuff, do you want to help me make some Snickers? I said, sure, why not? So I told her, I was like, I got to record the video this morning, but after that, I'm all yours. Well, it's very early in the morning. So they're not even awake yet. Most people aren't even awake yet. My sons did have to go into work today because they're doing some of the sprinkler systems up at Michelin, the tire plant, not far from us. And it's so funny because that's where my husband had to medically retire from when he became disabled. So they're up there at their dad's old job doing sprinkler heads on a Sunday right before Christmas. Yeah. So it'll be nice to grab her and the baby and go grab some of this stuff and get some baking done. But I think I'm going to go ahead and set up the cake pops while they're still sleeping, and because I told her to text me when they wake up, and I can go ahead and get these already done. I probably won't be able to do the melting part because these probably need to set up for at least an hour to be able to keep their shape really good before I dip them. So you girls are going to be a little bit busy today, and I'm going to love every second of it. So on that note, I think I'm going to let y'all go because, for one, I ran out of tea and I'm getting cold again. You wouldn't think that, but I think it's colder than 68 degrees in here. I don't think that, the heater's coming on, but it's not coming on as often as it should, with it being 25, 27, I can't remember. And I'm recording on the phone, so I can't look at it there. But it should be coming on. It should be almost staying on right now to combat the cold coming from the outside. So it's not, and I'm getting a little chilly again, so I need to make me another cup of tea, I think. Thankfully, this stuff is not caffeinated. Could you imagine me on caffeinated tea? No, I don't need it. My little bitty Mountain Dew first thing in the morning, that's all the caffeine I need. Unless I'm working 60 hours, and then I might need a 5-hour energy. But I'm going to stop rambling, and I'm going to let y'all go. And I hope you have a wonderful day today. Or tonight. Whenever you're watching this. I hope you're doing something you enjoy. I am. And I'm going to have a ball doing it. Because I have to find the joy and the fun and the happy in all the little things. And I hope you can. So I will see y'all later on. Bye.